everyone. It's great to have you here, and it's a very special night for me because I normally don't have a chance to advertise my own country, but I was born in Bulgaria and I spent 24 years of my life, my first 24 years there. I'm a product of the education system of Bulgaria. I went as far as I could in the country, and then unfortunately that, or I should say fortunately, coincided with the fall of Berlin Wall and with all the major changes that Europe experienced at the end of the 20th century, and that allowed me to come here to the United States and continue my education, both in Philadelphia at Curtis Institute of Music and also at Juilliard. So I'm very grateful to my home country, but I'm also very grateful to my current home country here in the United States. So tonight we're going to be talking about one of the richest folklore regions in the world, and this is Bulgaria. And I don't know how many of you, this is a very well-traveled community, but how many of you have ever had a chance to visit Bulgaria? Oh, fantastic. Great. Yeah. Are there any Bulgarians here? Oh. That's great. That's why it's so full. Yeah. All right. So that would be my side of the aisle here. Yeah. Excellent. So I would like to, it's a PowerPoint presentation, so we're going to move fairly quickly through some of the slides that are self-explanatory. And there is a lot of musical examples of both singing and dancing, because the Bulgarian folklore music consists of three very important components. One, of course, which is very famous for, are the songs. The other ones is the dances, which are very intricate. And at the end of the evening, I hope that I could teach you the most simple Bulgarian dance for you to take home. And then finally, the third part of the genre is instrumental music, which we're not going to emphasize too much tonight, but we're going to be talking about something very unique, which is the Bulgarian rhythms that do not exist anywhere else and that have inspired plenty of composers around the world, including an American composer by the name of Kevin Putz that wrote a piece for our favorite chamber group here in town, Time for Three. And the last movement of that piece, that concerto for that trio, is called Gankino Choro, which is inspired by the Bulgarian dance in the very complicated rhythm of 11/16. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. Here's where Bulgaria is, for those of you that have a blank spot as far as Eastern Europe. So right here, I could not find anything with better resolution, but you see the Black Sea, you see on the north we have a border with Romania. This very curly black line here is the Danube River, and when it passes through Bulgaria, it's quite wide. It's probably as wide as Mississippi towards the end of New Orleans. It's by far one of the biggest rivers in Europe, and it's our connection to Central Europe, and particularly to the city of Vienna, which has very strong influence for the capital of Bulgaria, which is Sofia, but also to all the cities that are located on the Danube River itself. We have a very large border with Greece. We have a border with Turkey here, beautiful coast on the Black Sea. We bordered with Yugoslavia. Now it's all broken up to Serbia and Macedonia, whatever their new name is. I think it's Northern Macedonia. There was a big dispute in Europe last year. So Bulgaria is roughly the size of the state of Pennsylvania, and it has almost similar shape. For us Bulgarians, because when we were growing up, our education was very patriotic based, and the national animal of Bulgaria, and don't ask me why, is a lion. We don't have any lions. Maybe they were at one point. And when they would explain to us, like, look for a country in the world that looks like a lion. So if you look at this, there's the head of the lion, and there's the little tail here, and there's the legs. So it looks like a lion. So yeah, that's what I was taught. I would have never pointed it out before, but so the main religion of Bulgaria is Orthodox Christianity, and when back in the 9th century, Bulgaria had to choose between being part of the Catholic system, which was based in Rome, or being part of the Orthodox religion, which was based here in today's Istanbul or Constantinople, when it was called back then. It was much closer for them, so they chose to be part of that. And then, of course, there was the big split, and you know all about it. I don't have to go into great details. We use the Cyrillic alphabet, and we are one of the greatest achievements of two monks from Bulgaria, or the invention of the Cyrillic alphabet, which today is used by a lot of countries. Of course, Russia, Russian Federation, Belarus, Ukraine uses their own version of the Cyrillic alphabet, Serbia as well, and of course, Bulgaria. When they invented it, it was one of the most modern alphabets because to every sound in the Bulgarian language, there is a letter that corresponds to the sound. So how do you spell your name does not exist as a question in Bulgaria because everything is very phonetic. If we have more time, my record of teaching people to read in Cyrillic is 15 minutes. We probably could do it in 13, but we're not going to do it today. It's very, very easy. If you have time to explore the alphabet, it's much easier than anything else that you could imagine. Bulgaria had a very turbulent history. At one point was one of the largest countries in Europe because we had borders on Black Sea, on White Sea here on the Mediterranean, and also on the Adriatic Sea. But we, unfortunately, had always been on the wrong side of the war. So gradually, all our territories were chopped off, and now this is what you ended up with. The other thing that you have to remember that because of the close proximity to Asia, there is a lot of influence. Everybody that had to go to Europe by land had to pass through Bulgaria. And as people were doing that, they left a lot of influences, both in terms of architecture, in terms of folk music, even if you wish, in terms of cuisine, and many, many other things. There was also fluxes from Central Europe to here, particularly with the Crusaders. So there was also a quite interesting Crusader period history in Bulgaria with some castles that were built along the road to support those religious wars that were happening in various times. So Bulgaria was also part of the Ottoman Empire up until 1878. So this is almost at the end of the 19th century. So which means that Bulgaria as a country did not exist for 500 years because it was absorbed by another country. But the miraculous thing about the folklore is that during these 500 years, the national identity of the Bulgarians was never lost. And what you hear and now Bulgaria, of course, is part of the European Union, is member of NATO, so we are all together in what we do. And what I wanted to show is, this is some architecture. This is the medieval city of Plovdiv, which was the capital of European culture last year. And this is the old part of the city. These are houses that were built at the beginning of the 19th century to sort of like reflect all these traders, people that would do trade with Bulgaria, and Bulgaria was famous with producing the best quality rose oil. There's a lot of gold in this part of the region, and the real treasure of Bulgaria is absolutely amazing agricultural products, particularly vegetables and fruits because of the climate. So this is one of the cities where when people got a little bit of money, they decided to build something quite opulent, as you see it here. This is the famous Rila Monastery, which is in the mountains close to the Greek border. This is the main church of the monastery. It's a huge complex, but the church has paintings both on the inside of the church, but also on the outside, which is quite unique. This is the outside. You could only imagine what's on the inside. Good. This is some of the resorts on the Black Sea, and the beauty about the Black Sea is that along the coastline there is a mountain. The end of the Balkan range goes to the Black Sea, so these beautiful green trees there just make that coast very, very special. It's not like the New Jersey shore. So, and as you could see, a lot of white sands and just beautiful. This is one of the medieval castles. This is in northwest Bulgaria, and this entire area has these quite unique formations, rock formations that are also an interesting place to visit. And we also have the highest peak on the Balkan Peninsula. So it's not Mount Olympus, as the Greeks claim it. It's peak called Musala. And it's again part of that mountain range that the monastery was. And this is the capital of Bulgaria, Sofia, and this is the main church, which is at the highest place of the city. And it was built to commemorate all the sacrifices that the Russian soldiers did in the Russian-Turkish wars. And as a result of the Russian-Turkish wars, Bulgaria was liberated and became its own country. So the people of Bulgaria just donated their own money, and they managed to build this beautiful church. It has golden domes, and it's absolutely amazing. It's called also the Patriarch's Cathedral. It's sort of the spiritual center of the entire country. And now what I would like to do is something that I'm going to play you a short video that I found on YouTube. It's by the travel advisor Rick Steves. I'm sure you must have heard about him. This is only 2 minutes and 35 seconds that talks about the Valley of the Kings, because we also have a Valley of the Thracian Kings in Bulgaria, with a lot of burial places, and you're going to see the similarities between this and also some other burial places that are more famous, like the one in Egypt, for instance. So here you go. I'll give you a little bit of an idea. Now I'm going to jump to something that some of you might have actually seen, that will lead us naturally to the folklore music of Bulgaria.
And we're pleased to have this group here tonight. They're going to be performing in Minneapolis at Orchestra Hall on April the 14th, and in Boston at the Symphony Hall on May 5th. This is their Grammy-winning album called The Mystery of Bulgarian Voices. Would you welcome, please, the Bulgarian State Radio Vocal Choir.
Pataka, na krivile kalpače, to je
Yeah. Do you remember seeing that? Yeah, you do. So as you could see, the Bulgarian folk music is largely represented by a lot of singing by women, predominantly, because they had this tradition of gathering together almost every night and bringing their housework, whether they're going to knit something or prepare something. And as they were doing this communal work, they would sing together songs like that. You could imagine that this chorus, this is an arrangement by a Bulgarian composer that particularly was very famous for doing arrangements of folk songs. And as you could see, they sing without a conductor. And you heard the rhythms and the modulations and everything that it takes for them to deliver a performance like that. And in this particular chorus, you also notice the details of their costumes. Each one of these costume comes from a different part of the country. And a lot of this, of course, are very opulent. Those are wedding costumes, wedding clothes that the bride would wear when she gets married. So you see there the demonstrations of gold, of silver, of incredible handwork and all of that. But we'll talk about it a little bit later. All right. Just a little information here about the Bulgarian song. We don't know who created it. That's the main thing about folklore. It exists through the centuries, and every performer adds or takes away something from it. So what we arrive at the end is a highly distilled version of each one of the songs. And all these songs, as you could imagine, about music, because they would be appropriate for a particular holiday, for weddings, for baptisms, for birthdays. Some of them are for funerals. Some of them are even like more with a military kind of a meaning. And all these people that created this song, what is more important is that they have an incredible poetic talent, because the texts, if you understand the text in Bulgarian, they're incredibly moving and beautiful. And my friend Mariana is going to talk to you about the songs that she's going to sing tonight a little bit later. And as I told you, all of this was developed in small villages. It was passed from a person to person, from a bagpiper to a bagpiper, because bagpipe is actually a national instrument of Bulgaria as well. It's a little different version, you're going to see it, than the Irish bagpipe. According to the ranking that musicologists have done of all these songs, you have songs that are part of a ritual, you have songs that are telling particular myths that are part of the mythology, most of it pagan mythology, not really Christian. There are songs that kind of depict historical events, heroic songs and ballads as well. And now I would like to talk a little bit about the rhythmic variety, because in addition to the songs I mentioned that probably you noticed in the performance of the women's chorus, that this was not your orthodox 2/4 or 6/8 or 4/4 or 3/4. This was what we call 7/8 in Bulgaria. So in 7/8, because almost everything in Bulgarian music happens with lightning speed, you don't necessarily count 7 beats, but you group them into 2 + 2 + 3. Because that's equals 7, right? 2 and 2, 4 + 3, 7. So if you have to, let's clap together. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, then you have your Bulgarian 7/8. And if you want to break it even to smaller units, it would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So you clap only on the 1. So you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. And the longer unit is always the one that has 3 beats. The shorter unit is the one that has only 2 beats. And this could go all the way up to like 15 and 16/16ths of this succession of short, short, long, 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 short. So what you're going to hear this weekend when Time for 3 comes, they're going to do the Gankino Choro, which has 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's 11. It has 2 short units, 1 long unit in the middle, 2 short units at the end. So can we do that? Let's do it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. And again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's great, but that's in what we call tempo moderato. When they come here, and when you hear it in Bulgaria, it would be 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1. So you see, yeah, right. You have to count very, very fast, and so this is very, very, very exciting. And for each one of these rhythms, there is a corresponding dance, which has normally a name. We're going to learn one which is in 2/4, so we don't get too confused at the end. So they could trace this back to all the poetry writing during Greek time. So there is an absolute direct connection from what we know back then, but in Bulgaria, of course, it's translated through musical ideas as opposed to just the poetry, the way it was in Greece. Let's see what I have here. It lends so easily to jazz, just because jazz is all about irregularities. And when you toss a couple of rhythms from that, you don't have to stay regular for too long. You could just use one as a little bit of a difference once you're in a groove, and then you bring a contrast. So there's a lot of jazz music that uses that. There's also a lot of classical music that uses that particular idea of changing meters. Okay, now we go to just a very, very brief overview of the different folklore regions of Bulgaria. And this is your map. I couldn't find one in Bulgaria. This apparently is in Russian, but it's still in Cyrillic, so we could read it. So you see how they are. And the unique thing is that because, as you could see, this part of Bulgaria is extremely mountainous. And up to these days, actually, the connections from one valley to the next one is very, very difficult, which allowed for each of these regions to preserve their own identity, because there was not that much transportation or communication exchange. And the northern one, which is the biggest one in Bulgaria, that's the Danube River, and that's the valley that follows from the western part to the eastern part. That's the biggest one, and there are no natural obstacles there. So there you see a little bit more homogeneous folklore. There is one over there, Dobruja, which is a flat grain-producing, extremely fertile part of Bulgaria that had a lot of people that came from different parts of the world. And because of that melting point, it allowed them to have their own distinct folklore, which has a little bit more Oriental influences as well from Turkey. This is this beautiful mountainous area by the Black Sea. And this is where the story of this week's concert about the girl that dances on open fire comes from. And I will show you a little bit of a video because they still do it up to these days. And then you have the Thracian plain, which is also very, very fertile. This is the river that goes through it. This is where all the vegetables and the best fruits are grown. Just amazing, amazing flat as a baking pan area. This is where I come from Sofia. We have our own region. It's called the Shopska region. This is where Mariana is from. She's from Goce Delchev. So this is the Pirin, which is the big mountain right here. And then we have the Rhodope mountain, which is the treasure grove of Bulgarian folk songs. So I'm going to show you some of the costumes, a very brief description of what is there, and also give you a very short example of how each one of these folk traditions are represented. Some of them are illustrated with dance, some of them are illustrated by songs. So this is the Rhodope mountain. This is how they are dressed. And the colors are very much related to the nature, because this is a beautiful, very soft mountain range. And so you could see that kind of a softness and in the apron that she's wearing. And it's more modest than some of the other outfits. But the Rhodope mountain, according to the ancient Greek mythology, was the birthplace of the god of music, Orpheus. So if you go there, you could sort of like sense that beauty, and I'm sure that these ladies that come from there sing so beautifully because of that nature. So this is the So the most famous Bulgarian folk song is this one, is Leo Delo Kajduti. It comes from the Rhodope region, and I don't know if you remember when they sent the Voyager into space and to travel without a name with some samples of the human civilization. They included one Bulgarian song. And this is, I believe, the song. That's our bagpipe. And it's a duet for a bagpipe and the voice, and nothing's notated. Did you notice how they sing this, all the ornaments together? That is a miracle, that someone could just count all of that and do it together without, without any notated music as far. Good. Pirin region, this is where Mariana's from. This is the costumes that come from there. That's close to Macedonia these days and Greece. What they do is their typical songs are normally done in duets, and one of the singers is going to keep one note throughout the song, and the other one is going to just meander around it, kind of like a vine, the way it grows. Let me see if I have an example here for you. I think I do. So you notice that the sound production is so different than everything that we have ever heard, because Mariana probably would help me more because she is a singer. Do you want to tell us how is this done? They call it an open throat technique. I don't know if this is the right translation or explanation, but Mariana is my great friend. She's from Bulgaria. We know each other since high school. I was taking my piano classes at 7:45, and she was the person right after me.
And I could not believe how well he played, and the piano teacher, and I was playing do, re, mi. And the piano teacher was saying, "You see, Mariana, you have to be like Rosen." And I'm like,
I'm afraid that now I have deteriorated a lot. My piano teacher is not going to be that proud of me, but Yeah.
That's okay.
Anyway,
you still play so much better than me. So I unfortunately cannot show you how these women sing, because it's a very pressed sound, and it's everything against what I've been taught in school as a classical singer. It feels like they're squeezing their throats, but it's still an amazing sound, But unfortunately, I cannot. That was the best that I could demonstrate. But nevertheless, I'll sing for you 3 Bulgarian songs, and I'll explain.
Second, yeah.
Yes.
Well, the way it was started, like in the 1950s, this is after the end of the World War II, and then Bulgaria became a part of the kind of a satellite of the Soviet Union at the time, and there was all this funding for culture, and there was this incredible movement for trying to find what's unique for Bulgaria. So all these treasuries that you saw here a little glimpse of, those treasuries were traveling all over the world. I have a poster at home that the Thracian treasury was actually at the Metropolitan Museum in New York. And this was done because the daughter of the ruler of Bulgaria, who was Todor Zhivkov, probably the longest living ruler of any Eastern European country, his daughter, by the name of Ludmila Zhivkova, she was educated in Paris. She had a degree in art history.
Yes.
So she understood how important for each country was to have a cultural ambassadorship of some sort.
Yes.
Whether if it's through music, whether it's through history, whether it's through these beautiful tombs that we saw early on. But she was pressing and finding the funding through her father to organize all these incredible folk ensembles, for instance, because these women that you saw on the Johnny Carson show, the person, Philip Kutev, that I mentioned, the composer, he went all over Bulgaria to the villages and he auditioned these ladies. And they sang for him, and he invited them to become part of that chorus. And, but also with the Bulgarian famous singers, such as Mariana, classical singers, also Gena Dimitrova, you sort of could see that, they have that resonance in their face in their bones that allows them to produce sounds probably louder than anybody else.
So Bulgaria is the country that has given so many wonderful opera singers. We have Boris Christov, Nikolai Gelurov, Gena Dimitrova, Raina Kabaivanska, just to name the few. There is this story about how Gena Dimitrova became an opera singer. So she was from the Pleven region, from Pleven, a village in Pleven town, near Pleven. And all her life, she had just that radio. So she was born in 1940-something. So growing up, she had the little radio and she would listen to music. One day, she was about 15, she heard an opera. And she said, "That's what I want to be." And everybody was laughing at her. Her music teacher recognized that she had a voice, but she was singing like that, folk songs.
Folk songs, yeah.
So she was determined. When you know that there is a calling for you, you know. So she went to the conservatory to audition, and she sang a folk song. And most of the professors were like, nah. But one recognized her talent and said, I'm taking her. And he did. And she became one of the greatest.
It was the greatest
voices.
touring daughter the Met ever.
Yes,
you could
yes.
find these recordings. Like nobody could sing that role like her.
Yeah,
for instance,
yeah. I mean,
among many other roles.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's,
and we were so lucky with
yeah,
Rosen. While we were at Juilliard, she was singing across the street at the Met.
No, we spent a lot of time with her.
Yeah,
I mean, she was coaching
yeah.
you, and
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
accompanying you. So it was a really great time.
Yes, so,
I do remember that.
Yeah.
All right, great. We move quickly here. This is northern Bulgaria. Beautiful wedding costumes, both for the bride and the groom. Gena was from the northern Bulgaria, but that particular region is famous for their dances, what we call a small step dance. So what I would like to show you next here is finally you're going to see a little bit of dancing from Bulgaria. And this is the Gankino Choro that you're going to hear this weekend. One, two, three, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? You see all the small steps? That's quite an exercise, isn't it? We have to start a group, I think. That would be Great, you got the ideas. Moving on. That's the Dobruja region, the one that was at the head of the lion. So that's a little example of their costume. They have very, very richly ornamented harvest songs that are typical. And what I would like to show you here now is just a little dance that's danced by men. Quite macho. Again, a 7/8. Nothing is in 2/4 in Bulgaria. Yeah. Yeah, that's a typical outfit with the embroidered shirts. And the shoes they wear are like moccasins. They're made out of leather. I think I have one of those shirts. My grandmother gave it to me. Good, you get the idea. Okay, that's my region. That's the shop region, as you could see, with the white clothes and these beautiful tunics for the men, and very, very ornate aprons for the women, normally with flower motifs and a big silver, how do you call this, for the band? Yeah, exactly. You have to notate something like this using, if you compose a piece, you know, the musicians are going to hate you because you have to use quarter tones and 1/3 of a tone, but you see how dissonant it is, and it's different for our ears, but, you know, these ladies just do it on their own. Like, if you ask them to sing more in tune, they said, no, this is not right. This is not how this song goes. Like, it has to be just like that. So, interesting. That's also from the shop region. the Bulgarian Rockets. Yeah, it's quite impressive. Like if it's somewhere it pops up like Bulgarians dancing somewhere, just go and see it because they're so richly choreographed. You saw the women on the back. At one point, they come to the front and they mix up at the end. I wish we had more time so I could show you all of this, but all these videos you could find online. YouTube is a great resource. This is the Thracian region. As you could see, one of the most beautiful outfits as well. And I'm going to play you a song from that region. It's one of my favorite ones. That's also arrangement by a composer from the late 20th century. Good. This is from the Stranja region, where we have the fire dancing rituals. And most of the songs are like without a meter normally, which exists as a category, like as a song without regular beats. So it just unfolds in a very free way with a lot of ornamentation. And this is now we are getting to that part, which is the basis of the story of the piece we're performing this weekend. So it's an interesting the fire dancing. It's a ritual that probably existed in pagan times when people, in order to experience a religious ecstasy and unity with the deity that they were praying with, they would try to infuse themselves with the strength of that god or saint, and through psychosis, or I don't know what kind of a extra human ability, they were able to dance on open fire with bare feet. Yeah. So the story that we're gonna hear is about a girl like that, and how a lot of people do not believe that this should be, that her religious beliefs or her beliefs that she could have this extraordinary power by received directly from the spiritual nature, and she ends up in a society that is a lot more pragmatic, and then by being influenced by the pragmatic people, she tries to dance one more time and she burns. So that's the story of the ballet you're going to see. But now I want you to see this very, very brief video of, because this tradition is still alive. It's done on the Saint Constantine and Elena Day. And so that particular village in the Stranja Mountains is doing this ritual up to nowadays. It's called nestinarstvo in Bulgarian. I see a lot of tourists. Yeah, it's always packed. These are the fires. You always have to carry an icon of the saint in your hands when you do that. If you remember that tune, you're going to hear it on the concert. They have nothing on their feet. I hope you could see a little bit, yeah. They're all crossing the fireplace. Yeah, don't try this at home. Unless you carry an icon and then you have some special protection. Now, my idea is to treat you to some live Bulgarian music. It's not exactly folk music, but one thing about the Bulgarian composers in the middle of the 20th century, almost all of them were educated abroad. So we have people that started in Paris, we have people that started in Germany, in Russia at the time, everywhere. So they came to Bulgaria, and one of their biggest inspiration was all these songs and dances that we heard today. So a lot of those composers are largely unknown outside of Bulgaria because it's just that's how history runs. You know, if you come from, we don't have a very good PR. So but this weekend you're going to hear a piece, and in my opinion, it's one of the greatest pieces, and it's all based on these Bulgarian folk traditions. And now with Mariana, whom we already had a chance to meet, now you're going to hear her beautiful Bulgarian unamplified voice.
So the first song is called Lukovitski Momi, or The Girls from Lukovit, and it's, it's not written, but arranged by Dobri Hristov. So Dobri Hristov was one of the first classical composers who I believe studied in Prague. And then here is The Girls from Lukovit. As Rosen was saying earlier, the Bulgarian folk songs kind of preserved our history. There were many stories told and kept shared from generation to generations. Many young people flirted through those songs. And in this one particular, this guy is, and I don't know why they always say mamu, 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 like they sing to their mom and ask for permission, but he says that he wants to go on the other side of Etropole in Lukovit, where he will meet those Pomak girls, because they were exceptionally beautiful. So the Pomaks were Bulgarians who changed their religion from Christianity to to Islam. So they exist until today. They're part of our society. So in this particular story, the girls are washing their clothes in the river, and he's like so excited and tells his mom, "Mom, I'm going to get me one of those girls."
Speaking like a mother of two sons, right?
Yes.
You good?
A little bit more sound.
No, play louder.
Okay.
Yeah.
belli panna, bella mamma, belli lica mia, belli lica mia, mamma, som strumbergi triat. Ah, belli panna, bella mamma, belli lica mia, belli lica mia, mamma, som strumbergi triat. Lukovicki, mommi, mammo, ludi poludeli, mammo, ludi poludeli, mammo, šturi poštureli, a šte dajta mila, mammo, otvate tropoli, češ ti sina mila, mammo, bela pomakinja, a šte dajta mila, mammo, otvate tropoli, češ ti sina mila, mammo, bela pomakinja.
And the next song we have prepared for you is from the Rudopa region. It's called Mesečinkuljo Grenlivke. Probably those of you who love opera have heard the Song to the Moon that René Fleming made so famous from
Rusalka.
Rusalka, Dvořák's Rusalka. So this is the Bulgarian version of Song to the Moon. And as Rosen was saying, young people will gather together, or rather the women were gathering together to do their work and they will sing songs. But before the internet, before the radio, before the TV, young people will get together and that's where they will kind of, court each other and promise to each other. However, many people went abroad for working somewhere far, far away. So again, we have this young person singing to the moon and saying, you passed by my village tonight, where all the young people are gathering together. Who is sitting by my sweetheart?
Mesečinkuljo
And the last song that we will sing for you is called Brestojane. Yeah, all guys' songs. I don't know why. It's by Parashkev Hadziev. He was the one who made the arrangement. And the story goes that Stoyan is coming from the mountain, bringing some wood and playing his pipe. But while coming down, he saw a girl. And she's so good looking. And he's like, oh my gosh, what do I do? She's holding a pitcher and he's thinking, should I steal her flower? Should I break the pitcher? Or kiss her? Well, he thinks the pitcher is very cheap. The flower will wither tomorrow, but the kiss is for life.
Stojane, mat stojane, stojane de od gorata, pritom varatar vanosi, pred njih hodi svirka sviri, pred njih hodi svirka sviri. Tiri, 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 tiri. Ote srećna malka moma, premenena nakitena, zdravsna kitka naglavata, snopastomna urakata, snopastomna urakata. Tiri, 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 tiri. Se čuti, da listom nada iščupi, da li i kada i zeme ili moma da celune. Za 2 grosza, kitkata do pladnina, kitkata do pladnina, celivane do života, celivane do života. Tiri, 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 tiri.
Thank you.
All right. Bravo, Mariana. Love it. Thank you so much for coming all the way from Central Jersey here. All right, now we've got 5 minutes, so we're gonna do the promise dance. And this is how it looks like. It's called pravo choro, the right choro. Okay, the easiest way is if you just get up. Just get up. Very easy. Yeah, so it's you could count to 6 very easily, right? So watch me. Me and Mariana, you could choose whoever you want to watch.
Wrong person to watch. I don't know left and
Yeah,
right.
come
but-
here. Okay, come here. I will lead. So we do. So look at my feet. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it.
Okay.
So right, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you got it, just get next to Mariana and we'll dance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on. 2. The whole point is to form a circle. Then we feel togetherness. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You continue. I'm going to play now music, so I can do it with music. Because this is. See, the Bulgarians are doing great. Watch the cables. Yeah. It's great.
Love it.
So if you go to a Bulgarian wedding, you're gonna dance this. It's awesome. No need to go to the gym.
No.
Awesome. Awesome. Good.